Hey guys, Sunstreaker Wozza here, and welcome back to another Thursday live stream. So yes, thanks for joining me. So yeah, as always, we're covering the newsletter and talk about some, subjects that I've been talking about in various chats. And I can see some people already have said, Wozza, are you quitting after that in Discord today? Hell no. Hell, that's a normal day for me. I'm highly opinionated. I do put my opinions out there, and you always gonna have people that disagree with you, and that's fine. It did get a bit personal, which is a bit too far for me. But I'm always gonna put my opinions out there on how I feel, and we'll talk a bit about that later. Sort of a subject within the stream today, and we're gonna be talking a bit about game economy, why the apes do the things they do. And listen, we're not always gonna agree with it, but I'm hoping that after this stream today, people have a better understanding of why they do the things they do. And then we're also gonna look at. So I've been talking about people in my alliance talking about walk teams, and they've been showing my bots going, this is my setup for my walk team. We also covered it a bit in the bot rinsing as well. Now everyone doesn't use a walk team, I get that, but it is kind of the meta. People use sack and then walk, so I thought I'd go through a bit of what makes a good walk team and why. In my opinion, again, I'm sure other people will say slightly different and say, well, I don't really agree with that. Was that? You know what? That is fine. I'm just here to sort of put my opinion across to you guys and say, listen, it's worth thinking about. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm right, but I am wrong occasionally. But I'm saying this is my opinion. Think about this before you make a decision on your team. Before you invest in something, think. Just think first. Think about, will this bot fit in my team? Is it worth investing in? And then you can make an educated decision. That's what I'm here for, guys, to give you guys the information to make an educated decision for yourselves. I'm not saying I'm always right, but you could use what I've said to think, well, yeah, I remember what Wozza said, I agree with that, I don't agree with that, but I can see where he's going with that, so I'm going to do this. And make your own choice. So, yeah. Cool. Let's say a few hellos. So we're not going to do the first 5 in the chat this time. I see people getting a bit unrest. People are saying like, oh, I never get first 5 in the chat. So we're not going to do it this time round. We're going to do it occasionally rather than every single time. It gets a bit tiresome doing it every single week. So we're going to do some different giveaways every week. Sometimes it might be first 5. Some might be towards the end of the stream to see who's still here at the end. Sometimes it might be, who's taught the most in the stream, or who's had the most, good questions or whatever. But yeah, we'll be giving some giveaways at some point in the stream. Let me know about the music as well, guys. I've decided to sort of get rid of that Earth Wars music, Transformers music beforehand. Wasn't good quality, so I've got some stream music, and these are sort of license-free songs that I think are, in my opinion, a bit Transformers-ish. They've got a Transformers feel to them, and that's why I've sort of picked them. But let me know what you think. Not just the music in general, but about is it right level? Is it all right? No. Okay, cool. Okay, let's see what we've got. So we've got Grind Timers first in the chat. Welcome, brother. Thanks again for being a member. Don't forget, guys, once we get to 10 members, 10 platinum members, we'll be doing a $50 giveaway every other month. It's coming to $30 that we give away. Once we get to 10 platinum members, I'm going to make it 50. So let's try and get there, guys. We got Penny Lancaster as well. Clohossi, thanks for joining the stream the other day. Hope you've got your battle pass from Grind Time. Cooler Grind Time to give that away. But yeah, it was a good stream. It was fun. We got Chip Cox as well. We got Chris Trudden. Stay Puffed, my alliance member, good buddy of mine. Thanks for joining, bud. Thanks for being a member. William Wilkinson. We got Freezers Max. We've got Mitchell VF1J. We've got Chris Harmon. Thanks for being a member as well, bud. Much appreciated. We've got Dojak. Hope you enjoyed the rinsing as well. We've got Ronald Van Hollen. Yeah, Ronald Van Hollen put in the chat, wants to go and see the rinsing. It is now open, guys. The rinsing's now open again. I'm going to hit home, I think, with Grind Time in August time, I think. I've not told him yet, but I'll tell him. But in August time. So we're doing another one to give people time to sort of advertise it and get people in there, and that's the plan. But yeah, get it in now, guys. Why not? Then it's done. You can always delete it and put a new team in if you change your mind, whatever. But yeah, cool. Who else have we got? A lot of talk about the event. We're going to be covering that later as well. I'll just talk about that. Kill Cannon, thanks for joining. Glad you hit me up on Discord for that code. Who else have we got? We've got Simon Hayes, another of our members. Welcome to the chat, buddy. Thanks for joining. Who else have we got? Just everyone chatting. SG Soundwave, thanks for joining, bud. We've got Luke, another of our members. A lot of members in the chat tonight. Thanks for joining. Skywarp, who says 15th one here. Really? Have you really counted? Have you really gone that far? Highly classified as well. Thanks for joining. Grim Lador. Grim Lador, I don't know. Rebecca Laura Rowe, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Richard Trinder. Sunstreaker, who's just spamming ones. Don't know why, but yeah. Must like number one. We've got Smarty Dog, YouTube 2. We've got a Big Wampa. No, I'm not quitting, bud. Not a chance. We've got Bricks Motion. Alpha Tryon. We've got Philip Martin. Thanks for joining, guys. Bex Wolf. Anyone else? Metabear. Apologies if I missed anyone. Undertaker. And I think that is everyone. I think if I missed you, I apologise. Quite a lot of guys in the chat today. But yeah, thanks for joining. So we'll jump into the newsletter and we'll go on from there. But yeah, let me know if the music sounds alright. If it's a good level, guys. If it's too quiet, too loud, let me know in the chat. So, bar week, Rana week, Ninny Bong, and this week's event is Damage Control Unit. So, this week's event is take part, it's a weekend event to have 40 premium combat chips, up to 30 combiner crystals. They're pretty good. The combat chips, meh, but combiner crystals, I like them. Good opportunity for people to complete combiners, so I'm all for that. A G-Metal power core chip and 6 gold power core chips. I'm not feeling that really, especially it's just G-Metal power core chip. It's not like a defense core or bot core, it's just anything. 150,000 combiner spark, that's pretty good. 200k spark, that's pretty good. We've also got what's it called? War thingy-majiggy. I was gonna say team of the week. I've got FIFA in my head, but it's not team of the week. Tug of War. It's TOW, so it's team of the week in FIFA. We've also got Tug of War, so it's extra spark there as well, guys. So if you're not a War Alliance, I'd advise you go and try and get a few more wars in there. Some good prizes up for grabs. Up to 2,500 4-star shards, 7,500 3-star shards, 20k premium crystal shards, and a partridge in a pear tree. Super XP as normal, 500,000 battle points. Usual zones, we don't need to look at that, nothing changes. Yeah, the normal items are spread out throughout the event. Defense Zone, Abominos, then Magna Boss and Tripodicus, then Maximus and Bruticus. And then yeah, right out to the 500,000 mark. Game updates and information. So they have put a survey in the newsletter. Now I spoke to Dale today and I was like, I'm not gonna bother. I'm really not. I think my account's flagged to not win any competitions. I've never won in the stream. Well, no, I'm lying. I've won once in the stream. I literally went in the actual official Air Force stream and said, I never win. Even sometimes when I'm first, and I know I'm first. I've got some good Transformers knowledge. And sometimes I'm like, yes, I know the answer. And I get in there first. I'm like, yes. And I still don't get picked. And sometimes the second person gets picked. And I'm like, I'm sure to avoid it, man, because I'm a content creator. They don't want to give it to a content creator. But hey, so I'm under no illusions that I will not win the 500 5-star shards. I don't think they'd let me. But I said to Dale that a big thing for me is that I want something new in the game. I want a change in the game. And I don't mean more spark or more crystals or this or that. I want new events. I want new war mechanisms. Something new. It needs an injection of life into the game right now. You've got to think that we're doing the same events. Yes, there's different parts in the event, and crystals, and they've added different things in, but we've had the same events now for, what, 6 years, pretty much. You know, give or take. We've had the same wars for, like, you know, the last 5 years. You know, it's long, long overdue for a massive update. You know, they brought in Zen farming. They brought in raids, so they're bringing in things in midweek, and that's brilliant. You know, some people will say it's too much, but that's really good. But weekend stuff, events, wars, they haven't changed it one bit, and they need to invest in that and change it, in my opinion. And that's not going to come from a newsletter. But something did come for the newsletter, which we'll talk about shortly. They had a sneaky achievement in the game you could claim last week. I wouldn't say it's that sneaky. Came up going, You got this. So yeah, you got some combat spark and XP core. They've updated the wiki to include fire or electric, so go and check that out. The new combats are in testing. Trip up and roller force. First impressions. I'm not too sure about these guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm on the fence. I don't think they're very good right now. I haven't done any testing myself. I've just seen the feedback and I've had a bit of a go with them, but I'm not going into. I'd normally go really intense and go into the numbers and things like that. But I don't really do much testing anymore, like you guys know, guys that watch regular. And I had one go with him. And I was like, this guy ain't getting in my team right now. But you know, things do change. But it is a bit last minute again. They sort of bring him out to us last week. No changes have been made in the last week at all, and it comes out next week, I presume. So, you know, it's gonna be last minute again. You know, that's a big bugbear of mine. Why I sort of left the play testers. Just felt a bit disrespected, and two, just the timing is awful. The timing is just appalling. It's getting frustrating that we're getting days to balance bots rather than weeks. But I get that's half down to a schedule and half down to the apes. But yeah. Not super excited for these combat at the minute, but you never know. We will wait and see. Then we got my crystal uploaded video in the newsletter. Some cool art of Astro Train and Lyozak. I presume that is, yeah. Who's that? Star Saber. That's not Star Saber, is it? Is that Shattered Glass Star Saber? What? No. Someone will tell me in the chat. Is that Shattered Glass Star Saber? Crazy. That's crazy if it is. Maybe it is actually. I'm trying to look at it and thinking maybe it is, but pretty cool. And yes, we're on week 2 of a 5-week schedule. It's a 5-week schedule now, guys. That's what should be going forward. So we got bot XP last week, nice and chilled event. We've got combat chips. We've got a new combat 1 million event next week. We've got a Prime Core Shard event. Make sure we're saving them Prime Core Shards, guys. The apes have said that there is something coming using Prime Core Shards. And then they've put the new bot Crystal, which is a totalizer, which we'll talk about shortly. Bug fixing improvements. So in Southeast Asia, people were struggling to get online. Make purchases, sorry, because of a problem with Google or something. We'll investigate that. And the slowdown effect was doubling up. It was stacking. So they investigated it and removed the other thing that was stacking or something on the point, or they removed the fact it was stacking. I'm not too sure, but it was ridiculous. It got to the point where your bots were almost stood still. So it's good to see that. So Discord today. So we got into a bit of a discussion today. So the apes have announced that the end of Saga event will probably be a 3 million point event for a guaranteed 5-star. And some people were saying, listen, 3 million is too much. It's too much. You're exhausting your players. And then I was on the side of, yeah, but listen, this is to replace a leaderboard. A leaderboard is normally crazy. I can't compete in leaderboards normally. I can't put them sort of points up to get the top prize. I can't. Not with working weekends. If I'm off the weekend, yeah, fine. That's no problem. I work a lot of weekends. But I can do 75k. You know, I do go top 10 occasionally if the rewards are worth it. And they haven't been really. It's a 4-star bot. So normally leaderboards, I just go top 100 or something. I don't really bother. I've been top 5 quite a bit when I was off work over lockdown, things like that at the time. But since going back to work, not really as much. So I was a bit disappointed to miss out on a Minerva and SG Jetfire. But I've got a good chance at this bot, you know. And you've got to think it's a guaranteed bot. It's not like a bot out of 5. So these new bots will go into the new 5-star batch when it comes out, like Minerva did, like SG Jetfire did, and people will have a shot at this bot. But you'll have a 1 in 5 chance. Now, no one knows right now what this bot's will be like. Right now, it still needs balancing, so I'm not even going to comment really. We've only just got it, and the apes have not even seen the feedback pretty much. So, you know, it's a guaranteed bot. It's not just a 5-star crystal. You know, if they did 75k for a 5-star crystal, that's a snip. Let's be honest. But it's a guaranteed bot, and it means there's one less out of that batch. So it's a very good opportunity to get a very, very good bot. And it is 75k, so you do have to spend to get it. But it is end game content. It is the most prestigious content in the game for 5-star bots right now. So I kind of understand it. You know, I'm on the side of I'd rather it be less, but I understand why it's 3 million. I understand that you know, they put the time and effort into developing this bot. They've got to get some return on that. You know, they make these bots, they put a time designing it, that costs them money. And same with bundles. People think that we buy a bundle for $20 and that goes to Space Ape and it goes in their pocket. It doesn't. They've got to pay for the server through Amazon, I believe, or something. They've got to pay for their Google fees. They've got to pay for Apple fees. They've got to pay the rights to Hasbro. So out of that $20 you buy a $20 bundle with, they probably get $8 out of it. Probably. I'm just guessing, but I'd imagine so. On average, you know, they don't get as much as people think. But I understand why they made it 3 million. But let me know in the chat what you guys think. You know, is 3 million for a 5-star crystal worth it? Should it be lower, really? I mean, everyone's always going to say lower. If they brought it out at 2.5 million, I think people will still say make it 2 million. But I don't think they can make it free to play. No, it's a prestigious item. So free to play can do about 35k ish. Times 4, 35, 700. So 1.5 mil is free to play, pretty much. So it's going to be above that. Let's have a look. So just have a look at the chat and see what everyone's sort of saying. Smarty Dogs put these events are always bad. I actually quite, you know, I actually I quite like this event. I'm looking forward to it, but yeah. What's the best put hacker exposed? Who? God knows. Yeah, I agree, my affiliate. Yeah, Magdaboss 5-star would be insane, but I think that'll come later. I think they'll let him sit in the meta first for a bit. I think we'll more get the older bots first. But Cyberdan, welcome to the stream, catching it live. Thanks for joining. And Joshua Eves as well. Big Wampa misses the raid event. I wasn't a fan of raid events. I didn't like it. I don't like raids though. I'm not a fan at all. Yeah. Yeah, a few people saying they like the raid events. I'm not a fan. Well, Ricky Lau talk about the 5-star Titan piece. We're gonna talk about that shortly as well. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think someone's commenting about some unlimited coin trick or something. If you talk about test accounts, then that's the test account. Don't worry. Let's have a look. SETI 83 is 40k is hard enough. Yeah, free to play 40k is very, very hard. I don't know how free to play guys do it. Honestly, it's very hard. Yeah, Cyberdan's put there. I did 8 million for the last 5-star event, 5-star bot event. So 3 million seems cheap in comparison. Yeah, exactly. But we'll talk a bit more about that. D'Angelo's asking, when you say save your prime code, that include if you do not have all 12 prime codes. Ooh, that's quite hard. It depends what prime codes you're missing. I'd say there's certain ones. If you're missing Onyx and you're missing Nexus, then yeah, you're not really going to use them. But if you're missing Micronus and you're missing Alpha Trion and missing Quintus, then I'd go with that. You know, I'm sort of talking to the guys that, you know, I've got most of the prime codes, or all of them, really. So yeah, it's a hard one though. It's a hard one. Oh, and Mirage Jake's in the chat. Thanks for joining. Yeah, Seti's put 2 million, 2.5 at a push. Yeah, I get that. Simon Hayes put 75k is reasonable for me. I'll go for it. Yeah, me too. You know, I haven't retired, guys. I've just dropped down to a lower alliance simply because that there's not much for me to chase. But you know, when these sort of events pop up, then you know I can chase these bots. You know, these 5-star bots. This is a good event to chase it. So you know, I can do that while working. So I like it. It's good. Briggs Motion put the last 3 prime codes I'm missing are the best 3. Screw RNG. Unlucky. But yeah. So, and then they've sort of announced that Oh well, they've not announced it. They put in the newsletter questionnaire that the Titan part. What do you think it should be? And even I sort of kicked off about this. And they put 4.2 million, 4.5, 5 million. So the lowest bracket was 4.2 million. And I said to Dale, I said, you can't expect people to do 4.2 million. Because the problem is that there's probably only 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 alliances that are going to do 4 million. Maybe less. 5 to 10 alliances that are going to do 4 million plus event. And the disparity between a 4-star Titan and a 5-star is going to be absolutely huge. Disparity between a 4-star and 3-star is still crazy. So it means that there's going to be people. Listen, I might be one of them people, I might not. I'm not talking from my point of view, but there are going to be people in top level wars that are at disadvantage completely and might not be able to compete because it's 4 mil. I understand 3 mil, 75k. I kind of get that, but 4 mil plus is a lot, and the lowest bracket they put is 4.2. And I get people are always going to go lower, but the problem is that everyone's going to put 4.2 because it's the lowest, and the ape's going to go, right, okay, they want 4.2. No, we don't want 4.2. That's the lowest option you've given us. You know, you've not given us anywhere to go. And someone sort of said earlier, sort of, you know, that's like saying, do you want your arm cut off, or do you want your leg cut off? Well, I don't want any of them cut off, but you're giving me no choice. So, you know, I think 4.2 million is crazy, crazy high. I think 3 million is the maximum any event should be, and it should be for a prestigious item. So for a 5-star bot, you know, for the 5-star Titan, or anything at all for the next Titan part, 3 million should be the absolute most that they do events for, and I think that's where the game's at. 3 million, 75k. Oh, and thank you, Dojak, for becoming a platinum member. Thank you. So yeah, don't forget, being a platinum member puts you in with a shout of the $30 gift card we'll be giving away next month. Yeah, once we get 10 platinum members, it'd be $50. So yeah, want to be a member, guys? Yeah, become a platinum member and be with a chance of $50 maybe. Yeah. They've also said as well, you want to save your 5-star shards. It sounds like they're bringing out something new for Prime Core shards, and 5-star shards will be used to upgrade your bots. Now, I know in China they have 5-star plus bots, something. I'm not too sure how it works, guys. I'm really not. I've lost my China account, basically. I've tried getting in contact with them, but there's no avenue for me to get in contact with them anymore, apart from WeChat, I think, which I don't have, and it's just too complicated, so I just sort of abandoned that account. Sadly, I had it was really good actually as well. I had a lot of coins, but I've just tried and hitting brick wall for brick wall. But they do have 5-star plus bots, and I imagine they're gonna do something with 5-star shards to upgrade our current 5-star bots, because they've had a massive influx of 5-star shards, really. And we had a conversation again in Discord today where someone said we're devaluing 5-stars because of the amount of 5-stars that are available free to play and giving out in events and things like that. And then someone said, yeah, but you can give more of something out without devaluing it. No, you can't. Basically, it's supply and demand, you know. And I sort of say this, so I liken this to Ferraris all the time because it's a good example, I think. So a Ferrari. So why is a Ferrari so much money compared to, you know, another car? A Ford, say. They're both cars, but the amount of design that go into Ferrari, you know, and the parts that's used are more expensive. The people that build the car are probably paid more because they're the top of their game. You know, the leaders in the industry. The designers are the leaders in the industry, so they've got all these outgoings. But even then, it doesn't warrant the cost of the car. So why is the car so much? Because they don't want everyone to have it. Because then, if you're a rich person, you win the lottery and you go, right, I've got 50 million. I want to go out and buy a car that not everyone has, that I can impress people and show off a bit. If everyone's got a Ferrari, you're not going to buy a Ferrari anymore. But if, you know, no one you know has got a Ferrari, you'll be like, yeah, I'll get a Ferrari because it's prestigious, because it's rare, because not everyone has one. And so they put the price up to, you know, and because they're rare, you know, that's how much they cost. Whereas if everyone's got a Ferrari, but they can't charge that anymore because everyone's got one, so they'll have to lower the price. And that's kind of the same with 5-star shards. You know, if everyone had 50k 5-star shards and they put them in an event, no one wants them. No one will play for them. And so it's devalued. I know it's extreme, but I'm just saying it's devalued. Whereas if 5-star shards are rare and you can't get them. Once you do a 5-star event, everyone want to play that event. Everyone want to get in there, and you know, that's why they're usually rare. It's the most premium currency in the game. But now, to be honest, maybe Zen is, because Zen's not available anyway other than elimination mode, I'm pretty sure. So, you know, Zen farming and wars, I think. But yeah, you know, it's very rare Zen compared to 5-star shards. So 5-star shards are becoming more and more, you know, flooded in the game, but they have said they're going to be a use for them. So I think the 5-star shards will be used to power your bots. So I'm going to start saving my 5-star shards as well. I've got plenty of bots to work on. I don't need to put any 5-stars anytime soon. I've got 2 bots that are going to go into my war team, 6 good on Minerva. The rest will be leveled a bit behind them. And so I'm going to say 5-star shards for that. Yeah, meta bears, but 5-star plus, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe. That's just a guess though, guys. I honestly don't even know. But yeah. Smarty Dogs put, yeah, to be honest, the only reason people do raids is for 5-star prime or Beast Wars Megs and for parts, for Make Supreme, whatever. If you don't have build bots. Yeah, I kind of agree, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people say they won't do past 3 million. I wouldn't either. Yeah. See, Cyberdan's put, I said 5 million, so not many people have it. But that's the problem though, isn't it? Because then you've got certain people just winning in wars easy. You'll have people where you can go into zone 14 and just win. You have people that go into war and will automatically win because of 5-star Titan, pretty much. Yeah. Oh, Bricks Motion's put, in China, when you get a dupe, you get character tokens. When you get a certain amount, you can upgrade your bot to 70. Yeah, but the problem with that is that's highly monetized, China. Highly monetized. Yeah, very highly monetized. Yeah, and Kahos's point, if you look at the last leaderboard, only 7 to 8 alliances broke 5 mil. Well, there you go. So, Chris Hammond reckons about 20 teams getting 3 million. Yeah, I reckon about that. Yeah. Civil 9 Pause, but facts, I get one every 2 to 3 months. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Chris Harmon gets a 5-star every 2 months. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I like a way to upgrade my current bots, but there needs to be something to chase and something to work with. But we'll, who knows? Who knows? Okay, cool. So, I wanted to talk about what makes a good war team. So let's go. So, in terms of a walk team, so I sort of go through my bots and I go through my team and explain sort of why I've got the bots I have and sort of put certain bots in there and that I've seen people put into teams and why it doesn't really work. So, I think my cooldown might have finished by now, I don't know, but hey. Yeah, cool. So this is generally my team that I use. So I'll sub out Blades, Laser Optimus, but yeah, that's generally the team that I'll use. And the reason I've got this is so I've talked a bit about this when I talked about Rook and Dinobot and Blaster. So when Rook uses ability, he stays still. Yeah, it's quite a quick ability. Blaster, when he uses ability, he uses ability and he stays still and then carries on his attack. So they're my 2 tanks. Laser Optimus is a bit different, but he doesn't rush ahead. He uses ability, but he stays still. But then, in terms of the walks, it will drop back a bit. So his pathing can be a bit of an issue sometimes. But I use his ability a lot at the start of battles to clear a certain area to help path. So he's more for that. Drop him first, put Ratchet and Wheeljack behind him, and then use Laser Optimus with Wheeljack to speed it up. Because you're speeding the discs up, you get more discs coming out. Top tip there, guys, for using Laser Optimus on battles and clears more of an area. Then I drop the rest of the bots with him. Jetfire, use ability, lands back where it was. Sea Spray, use ability, stays where he is, transforms, back where he is. Blades, use ability, back where he was. So my team is very rigid in terms of tanks, gunners, healers. Now, you can run 1 healer if you're comfortable with that. You can run 2, that's fine. You can run 4 gunners if you want and 3. There's no set thing in sort of a team, but there's certain bots that you need to sort of be careful of, and we'll sort of sub a few of these in. So, So Rhinox. So Rhinox is, I use him, but I don't use him during the battle. I use him at the end. So if I'm most of the way through a battle and it's got a healing core behind the HQ, I'll take Rhinox just for that job. If the shield generator is just behind the HQ, I'll take Rhinox just for that job. That's his job. But other than that, he stays with the team. He doesn't rush off. If he walks off, I'll sometimes rush him back into position again. But I never use him to rush ahead because it drags the healers. We saw in the last stream that I did with Dinobot and Blaster and Rook, that once Dinobot went up ahead, the healers started chasing him, and it gets a bit chaotic. Another bot that you got to be careful of is Alita. I see a lot of people using Alita now. If you're using Alita for sack, then that's fine. That works brilliantly. No problem at all. A bit expensive for my liking, but I understand, you know, the premise of using her. Now, the defenses do self-heal in the current Prime League settings, so I don't think she's the best option. You're probably better using Blur as a cheaper option. But if you're not going to sack with her, the problem with Alita is she's got huge range. Now, again, if you're going to use Alita to kill outpost bots, there's cheaper bots to do that. Cheetor for one. But I wouldn't use Alita for that. It's quite expensive again. She's very expensive. The best way to get the most use out of it is to probably sack, to be honest with you. But again, she just races ahead of your team and pulls healers away. Now, if the shield gen's right behind the HQ, you could use her the same as Rhinox. Use it at the end of the battle just to take out the shield generator or a build bot maybe. But again, there's cheaper options. Jets only have 4 ability points where she has 8. You know, so again, there are, you know, cheaper options for walk teams. Another one is Slash. I've seen Slash a few times. Slash's pathing is awful. When you want a walk team, you want them all to path similar. So we'll come to that in a minute. But yeah, Slash's pathing is pretty awful. So I wouldn't bother with Slash. Smokescreen is another one that I'm not a big fan of, believe it or not, in a walk team. I see a lot of people using him, and I can understand it in a way. But because he has that range, he paths differently to the rest of your bots. So you'll find that he does walk off quite a bit. But because of that range, you just keep him quite safe. But he's got low health, so if he pops an outpost, he's dead. He's gone. So you have to be very careful with pathing. But I just think, again, it's a problem that you don't need to have by not putting Smokescreen in. I get it's good against outpost bots. I get it's good against combiners, getting that HP down. If you're struggling for time in Prime League, then yeah, it's a great bot to put in your team. But just keep in mind that, you know, it gets a bit suicidal by walking differently to the rest of your bots. Unless you're going to put 3 gunners or with top heavy and with glitch on. And you could do that. But don't forget that I talked about this in bot rinsing, that if you put glitch or top heavy on a bot, you are basically reducing their range by like 30%, 20%. Set. That's what you need to understand. By putting them on, you are reducing their range. Now, like the Smokescreen and Warpath have infinite range, pretty much that's fine. But everyone else, Sea Spray and Blaze, you're cutting their range down by 20%, and it really matters in a war, guys. You want them to get quite close within reason. So, you know, something to think about with Smokescreen. Cheetor was one of my top bots for a long time. One of the first, in fact, I think it was the first bot that I maxed out. I might go as far as saying. I was Golden Lagoon and things like that. But the problem with him is like most rush bots or most bots that go ahead and go into melee, is they go ahead of the team. They go in ahead of your tanks. And, you know, if you're trying to take out some outpost bots, that's fine. Again, it takes that health away. It'll transform and go back into your team, and then he'll walk behind the rest of the team. If you're using to take out a certain area, though, he'll take that area out. He'll do all right. He might get killed, but once he transforms, again, he's dead. His health, he cannot manage that. So you've got to keep that in mind. That if you're using ability, it's very situational, and that's what I don't like about it. All these bots I can use in different situations. You know, I sometimes put Bumblebee in. You know, he's a good bot to put in. Sometimes Sludge instead of as well as a tank instead of Laser Optimus. Depends on the base. Depends on the layout. Red Alert, Skyburst, Prowl, I'm not a fan of, but they work well in walk teams. Snarl, a bit like Cheetor, runs off ahead. Same with Primal, they go ahead of the team. You don't want bots that run ahead of your team and get them in danger, because once they run ahead of your team, they're going to be the focal point. Now, the only bot I would question is Pipes, because he has huge HP. And I know he has that, you know, that 80% shield. But once that's finished, he becomes the focal point. He will be the focus of all the attacks he's at the front. Now, you can throw minions in front of him or throw a hollow to keep him alive and wait for your bots to catch up. It depends how far you rush him ahead. But again, I'm just not a fan of that. You know, I get you want to rush bots to get in place sometimes. So if he starts to walk up, you can rush him into position. But not a fan of him. Not a fan, to be honest with you. I've actually been trying Gnaw with Grind Time, and Grind Time will pick this up. I've been trying Grind Time. I haven't been trying Grind Time in Wars. I've been trying Gnaw in Wars, and I wasn't impressed. I took a max Gnaw in with a max blaster, and Gnaw died every single time, and I'm pretty disappointed. And I'm thinking, have I missed something? Because text telling me that Gnaw's as good as blaster. I don't see it at all. I don't see it. And when I used to use the 4-star, I used to die, and I kept thinking to myself, yeah, but it's because it's not a 5-star. It's because it's not ability 11. That's why. But I literally took a maxed out Gnaw with ability 11 with maxed out cores and everything. I didn't even put his G1 on. I put what did I put on? I can't remember what core it was now. But yeah, and yeah, we're impressed. We're impressed. Definitely not good for War Team. He's not quite tanky enough for War Team. He's not a gunner as such. You know, I don't like bots like Lynx or Gnaw that are sort of melee but are not tanks. So I'm not a big fan, to be honest with you. Sentius is very similar to Laser Optimus in the fact that he's good in a walk team. He sits back a bit because of his bow. But once you use the ability, just understand he is going to come back a bit. So make sure you got other tanks to sort of take over. Tried Chromia out. I weren't a fan of Chromia. I weren't a fan of a tower just dies like that really quickly. Again, because you use the tower usually in front of your bots, it becomes a focal point. Now, if it's just one cluster defenses, then yeah, it works brilliantly. But you know, if you're on a full base where all defenses are still intact, there's always going to be that one defense that can target it, and that becomes a problem then. So, not a big fan of Chromia on a walk team. Obviously healers, I like healers on a walk team. Springer, yeah, any sort of gunners that can equip Top Shot work pretty well, even Swoop to a degree. Optimus Prime, very forgiving. You know, if your team starts to walk off, Optimus Prime is very good at rushing them together. But just keep in mind that once you do rush, they'll all sort of congregate together. So if there's any mortars in the area, it can really do some damage. So just keep in mind, guys, that where you're rushing to, and just keep in mind that you might need a little bit of a heal bomb as well to help out. But you get the idea, guys, that, you know, bots that sit behind the tanks that don't really move, tend to do really well. The bots that rush up ahead, like Hotspot, Pipes, those sort of tanks, Ironhide, not a big fan of. Gunners that sit right back, not a big fan of either. So when you're considering a war team, that's the most important thing to sort of think about, guys, is you know, what's your bot's behavior in that team, not just with the ability. Yeah, that obviously helps a lot, but what's that bot going to behave like compared to the rest of your team? You know, I see people with Fire Drive and Flak and Glitch in their team. I'm like, oh, no, they're going to path all differently. You got one going to go in that way, one going that way, one going that way, and it causes chaos. I like Flak and Top Shot in my team, and just sort of prove it. And Sports are fair. I think Sports on him, yeah. Sports the same range, so Sport, Sea Spray's got Top Shot, Jetfire's got Top Shot. Then we look at B has got Flak. What do I put on tracks? Top Shot, even 3-star Top Shot Seek, he comes in sometimes. So you can see that all those sort of bots have got Flak or Top Shot, or at least Sport pretty much. And hence why I want 5-star Flak and 5-star Sport, because I know they'll get used in my war team. They'll go straight in. Anyone else, nah, not really. So, you know, when you're building a war team, guys, as well, the important thing is don't just chase a bot that you like. I said this to a few people in my alliance that I've gone like, you know, who are you going to chase next? And they've gone, oh, I want this bot. But why? You've got 4 gunners and only 1 tank. You've got no outpost popper. Are you going to do sack? No, I don't want to do sack. Then you need an outpost popper. Go for RC. Go for Rook. Go for them sort of bots. You know, you might have all these bots, but then you don't have an AoE gunner. Right, well, go for an AoE gunner. Don't just go for a bot and go, right, I'm going to go and get SG Jetfire. And you're like, you've got 5-star Jetfire maxed out. Why go? Yeah, but it's better than Jetfire. Yeah, but you're still missing an AoE gunner. That's why you're struggling a bit, maybe. So analyze your team, see what you need, and then think about how it behaves. And that's where you need to go. And that's what I've done and why I've been so successful. You know, I haven't got as many bots as some of the top guys have got, you know, in Sai and all that. And they're not even maxed out, some of them, you know. Laser Optimus is level, you know, 63. Wheeljack, I think, is 64. Where's he gone? Yep. Bumblebee, I think, is 64 as well. Yep. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think the rest are maybe maxed out. I think Sea-Spray's maxed out. Yeah. Yeah. So, but you get the idea, guys. Yeah. Take that into consideration what you need rather than what you want. Looking at some of the, let's have a look at some of the chat. Big Smoke says likes Blaster, no, Smokescreen and Chromia. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Big Motion, who's the same as Rook? There's no one like Rook. Not even RC, there's no one like Rook. Transport hashtag no always dies. He really did, didn't he? Back me up here. Honestly. It was absolutely crazy. Ridiculous. No's like Blaster, good for distraction. Difference is Blaster is good as distraction and for attacking. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I just think No died a lot. So have a look through the chat. So Chris Harmon's bought Ox Punch, Impactor, Run Amok, Meg, Soundwave, Armada Megs, Shockwave, Flatline. Yeah, what? Yeah, maybe. I think the chat's just trying to jump ahead. I think the only thing you're missing there is a one shot. You've got no one shot at all there. You've got quite a lot of AoE, which is not bad. But sometimes that one defense you need to take out, you know, to help with pathing, you know, because it's doing a lot of damage or something. So I think you need a bit of a one shot maybe. So go for SG Jetfire or he's actually got Flatline, you know, got 1 in 4 chance. So maybe they go for that or go for Jetfire. So both decent. Seti 83, no, I don't rate Brawl and Prowl because at the top level they can't one shot. So, you know, he's not good enough at the top levels of the game, sadly. Not good enough. Jimmy Watson's put having the right combat bots make a difference, definitely. But I'd still rate a 2-star flak or a 2-star top shot over a 4-star fire drive. I really would, honestly. Like my 4-star fire drive, I don't even know who it's on. I don't even know who it's on. Let's have a look. Where's my? I don't even know where he is. It's on Red Alert, the 4-star. There you go, just for the sake of it. Just to give you an idea. And Dow's at level 1, where he's staying. So, yeah. D-Deck Spell, but I think Spellspot does shoot over walls, yeah. Yeah, I think too. So, let's go and do a war attack. We are only in cyber, so shouldn't be well, I'll say that. I've not even scouted first. No chats, but what is your problem with the Geezer combat bot? It's awful. That's my problem with it. It is absolutely dreadful, awful, awful, awful. And when you get your bots into position and they start to walk off, that is never good. In a walk team, everything is sort of, you know, calculated really within a, you know, I wouldn't say exact, but you know, within a good, you know, last thing you want is a bot walking off. So first thing we do is look at the build bot. So we've got we've got a FFD. So Trax is a bit out the out of the option really, unless you want to take it out. But I'm not a big fan of tracks. Don't really use them. Lightning mode and high frequency suppressor. So that's stopping us from hacking, but there's not much to hack. There's 2 there, 3 together there. We can maybe hack that. There's 2 together there, but there's I'm looking at point defenses. You got that under mine there, but you got 2 shock towers there, but there's not much of it. There's not much. So I'm not going to bother. So never drop your bot centrally. I've got a big thing. I never drop a bot centrally, so I'll always drop at the side and then take the lower section out. It is going to be difficult, this lower section here, but what we're going to try and do is take the shield gen out with Jetfire. We're going to maybe take this out with Laser Optimus, maybe, I think, or someone. It's within range rather than use a jet. I don't use my jet twice. It gets quite expensive. So, yeah, but I need to take these out, basically. And then use Sea Spray to run through when they combine them as well. Just keep in mind, guys, that when you're taking your combiner, if you use, say, Sea Spray over the MDS for self-repair, by the time your combiner transforms and appears on the stream, ready to go, appears on the launch pad and is ready to go, they're going to be self-healed again. Don't bother. So that's why I want 6 gun that can one-shot it when it's next to a shield gen at the minute. So yeah, that's the idea. Okay, so we're gonna go from I think we'll go from right hand side here. No, left hand side because I want to take this out, don't I? So left hand side. So we're gonna drop the box back here. Pop this outpost over here, maybe something like that. Again, so the idea is I'm gonna drop them low here. I don't want it to go walk this way. I want it to walk upwards and then walk around this wall and towards the HQ. So I want to take all this section out down here. So the idea is I want to take this section out with my bots, ideally. This section out with my combiner. This one with a jet. Let them walk up here. This one with maybe Laser Optimus, maybe hopefully a boost. This one with Jetfire, and then combiner will help. Laser Optimus again, but that is the plan. So we want to keep the tanks out front, the gunners behind, the healers at the back. That's the plan. We'll take a Mega just to make sure. Don't want to drop points here, cyber, do we? On a stream. So we're not going to take blades. There's no point taking blades. So we'll take Bumblebee instead. That's why we need to take out that electric core to make Bumblebee, useful at least. Sea Spray for AOE. Won't use them as much this space, I don't think. Jetfire, take out the shield gen, and we'll go from there. Cyberdance asked, how's my Bumblebee? Yeah, I love him. He's a lot better than what he was. He's still a bit suicidal, runs off ahead quite fast. But I like him. I like him a lot. As she's down with, who should place Rook with? Optimus or Rhinox? Who should have put him instead of? It depends. If you're really good at pathing, take Optimus out. You don't need him. But if you're not, then maybe Rhinox. But Rhinox is still really good. It depends how good at pathing you are. So as soon as oops. It's okay. We could put the minions down to protect us a bit. And this is why we have Laser Optimus. Use a heal bomb there. Then we can use Bumblebee. Nope, because I haven't took out that thing yet. Oh my god, it's going wrong. It's going wrong from the start. Right, now let's use Bumblebee. So you can see there, take a big section out. Healers at the back, gunners. Sea Spray's walking off. That's not good. He's walking off towards that combiner, but we can soon sort that out. Take that out with the Titan. There we go. We need to take this out. Stop Sea Spray's pathing downwards, but I think we're not going to stop him really. He's gone a bit too far now. We're gonna try and take this mortar out because we can get to all this with our bots. But nope, not quite, but it's alright. Sea spray is walking that way, don't know why. So we're gonna put Rook there up front there, give them some protection. We go through them two to get rid of them. There we go. See, healers at the back of the attack. Gunners are sort of in the middle, and then tanks out front, right to left. So, I mean, Sea Spray walked off, which wasn't ideal. He should be up here somewhere. But you see the idea that you want your bots to walk upwards. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them did, and 2 didn't. But yeah, you see the premise of, and tanks are sort of staying out front, putting Rook's Hollow in front, putting minions in front to, you know, to stop them getting hit, and then using your bots to sort of, using your attack bots to sort of clean up afterwards and to stun and take out key defenses. So there we go. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna ask some questions in the chat. I want you guys to sort of answer fairly quickly. We're gonna do a little bit of a test, something. So I want to talk about game economy. So we'll talk about something first. We'll go through the apes thing first, and then we'll go through our I want to make our own economy, so to speak. So I'll put the link in the video afterwards, but there is some Space Ape videos. If you go to Space Ape Games on YouTube, type that in, search for it, and they've got plenty of videos on, you know, that they've sort of took to universities and to, you know, in-house training people on why they do the things they do and how they do them. So this is the first slide, and it's talking about the different content that they create and how hard and easy it is to sort of create it. So first off is obviously events. Events are very easily created. So all it is, events is they will create an event and they have multiple switches. So do you want this on? Yes. Do you want this on? No. Then they'll ask, you know, at what increments do you want this? So Spark at these 10k, 30k, 50k, 70k. 4-star shards, how many? 200. At what point? At this point, at that point, at that point. 2 4-star shards, this money, at this point, and that's how they build the event. Basically, the structure there set, and they just literally turn them on and off and say how much and when. That's pretty much it. Very, very quick to sort out, very easy to arrange. Then they've got the dialogues, which they've said is quite easy to create. I'm not sure how they do that, but they've said it's quite easy to create. And then they've got the campaigns, which they said needs a lot of effort. You know, the campaigns will take them like a month, 2 months to create, and then we fly through them in 5 minutes and it's done. It's what they call burnable content. You know, you go through it, once it's done, you never do it ever again. And so 4-star, 5-star bots are burnable content, because once you've got 5-star Minerva, you never want her ever again. I know you can't get her, but you never really want her ever again. You can't get her again. You can get duplicates 4 stars, but you can't get that bot ever again. And that's why they value it so high. But we'll come to that in a minute. But burnable content. And so they were talking about Transformers and talking about why they've done the things they have. So, you know, the crystals, again, so the very basic crystals, you know, they've not put them very, like, you know, in your face, but the event crystals tend to be very well designed and, you know, a bit more, you know, look and go, oh, that's a different design, that's different, that's good. And they brought in the space bridge because it sort of fits in with Transformers lore. You know, and they don't talk about this, but, you know, I talk about fruit machines because I work in a pub. I understand the premise of fruit machines. And how fruit machines work is they have a lot of flashing lights, and it catches the eye and entices you. And it's same with the space bridge because it has flashing lights, and it is gambling. Let's be honest. It entices you to sort of spend more and pull more crystals and get addicted to it, and that is the sort of idea behind it. So this is the sort of life cycle of the game. So they'll bring a new Transformer out. This Transformer comes in the game into an event, and they bring the event out. Then after about 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever they choose, they put 4 weeks here, but sometimes it's different. They'll bring out a character bundle of this bot. So the players at the top of the game that get this bot will always have the content first. and usually players will always be able to get that content, but at a later date, even free to play. So after 4 weeks, you get the character bundles where you can buy the bot. After 3 weeks, they have it in the bot crystal sale. So again, it's available for a different price. And after another 3 weeks, it's available in premium crystals and free crystals as well. So you're talking there, a good 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 weeks, so 3 months after the bot's released, where it's available for free to play. But then they've still got to pull that bot in the crystal, so it could be 6, 9, 12 months before they get that bot. And that's how they sort of, create their bot schedules. And they were talking about rival kingdoms and the things they did. So they had rarities in rival kingdoms. They had godly bots and ancients and whatever. And in Transformers we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stars. So duplicate handling. So they said, yeah, duplicate handling. They used to get resources, and they did. But in terms of the ancients in rival kingdoms, once you got more of it, you couldn't use more of them. Whereas the more Transformers you've got, the more event battles you can do, different bots you can use, things like that. So it was very different. And then obviously because the brand, it enticed people in. How many people play this game because they like Transformers? They come in because they like Transformers and they want to remember their youth and play with bots that they remember. And that's obviously nostalgia is a very big part in it as well. People play this game for nostalgia. And then they sort of talked about events and how they sort of create them. So they'll always try and do, after a big event, they'll always try and do a small event afterwards. So you can see there the E is engagement, dollars is gross bookings, or like money they've made, and then player fatigue. So you can see there that they'll do a a small engagement event. There's not a lot of money spent, but they're very fatigued because they've had a massive event. So, but no, they're sorry. So then they have a medium-sized event, a bit bigger, a bit more money, and then the fatigue goes up a bit. Fatigue goes up. Oh, fatigue is low there. There's not much fatigue because it's an easy event, so yeah. Fatigue goes up a bit. Then they have a bigger event, so that's a number 3. Quite a lot of dollars spent, but quite a bit of fatigue. Then have a big event at the end, but then a lot of money needed, so hence this 75k event. But there's going to be a lot of fatigue at the end of this event. So they're going to do a small event. So that's why when we have these big weekends, we have a 10k event afterwards. It's sort of let us, chill out and get back into it. And you see massive peaks in spending and massive troughs in spending straight after those as well. So it's not just player fatigue in terms of how tired you are. It's also spending fatigue. Because if you're spending and spending and spending and spending, it gets to a point where you're like, I'm not spending anymore. It's too much. So they also need to have events what you don't need to spend on. And that's why when they had the 30k events, they like the 10k events. It's free to play friendly. It's very easy to do. Oh, my camera's not on me. Have a look a minute. Try something. Sorry. Hopefully my camera come back on. Don't know why it's come back on, but yeah, very strange. Is it? I'm not sure why my camera's not on. Oh hey, camera fatigue. I like it. I like it. Just wondering why it's not on. I presume it was on, but yeah. Okay, but yeah, we do have obviously player fatigue and we have spending fatigue as well. So it talked about in Rival Kingdoms about introducing Mithril at a certain point, and the currency was capped at a certain amount, and it was only available in events. This sound like anything you guys know? But at any point, they can sort of raise the cap. They can sell more of it. They can change the balance or create a new demand for it. So this is where we're at with 5-star shards right now. So, nothing to do with caps and that, but they have made some more available. You know, and they've changed the balance of the game around 5 stars. But they are looking to create a new demand for 5 stars, not just with 5-star bots, but they've said that they're going to have another use for 5-star shards to power your bots probably. So, you know, but the key they've said is tied to direct to events and live ops. They don't want to give, I mean, they've got the battle pass, but they want you to play these events and get these shards and create a demand for it, because then you're going to play the game more. And that's the idea. At the minute, like I said, the demand for 5-star shards from top players is very, very low. Most guys have got hundreds of shards in, you know, just sat there, and you know, don't really need them. So, you know. I don't know why my camera's not working, but why it's not connected. No Wi-Fi found. Very strange. My internet's obviously working because my stream's working, but hey. Let's try and oh, hey, we're back. But then it's not connected to that, isn't it? Very strange. There we go. Oh, right, yeah. I thought that was my background for a minute and I was like, what's going on? So they talked about socials and requires, you know, the reason why they do events. So someone said today, make it a solo event, this big event. But the reason is that they, you know, they want alliance event because it requires some coordination between players. And they've said that that pressure from your peers and from your players is a lot better than pressure from Space Tape. You know, if Space Tape say you have to play this event, people go, well, no, I'm not going to play this event. You can't tell me what to do. Whereas if your alliance members are saying you have to play this event or you're not going to be in the alliance, that's more of pressure. It's pressure from your peers and your friends, and you're more obliged to, you know, help them out and play with them. And that's why they sort of do this. Why they set up these sort of, you know, alliances and do these big events in alliances rather than solos. This is why they do this, you know, to sort of, you know, guilt trip you basically into playing the game. And they've explained that, you know, developer-supported competitions have lower barriers to entry and can offer incentives to players to compete. You know, competition can only thrive when events are the right level of difficulty. So when they are right and the prizes are right, then players will play the game a lot more. When they're out of reach, people won't. So what you've got to do there, what they're saying there is that, you know, you need sort of structure in the event. So if they said the bot for the 3 million for 5-star bot is there, but then below that there's no prizes, you'd have 8 alliance playing the game and no one else before that. But by putting the 4-star in at say 1.5 mil, then a lot of teams can go for the 4-star for 1.5 mil. But then some teams go for the 5-star, so everyone's got something to play for. That's why in leaderboards they have brackets that people can sort of try and achieve. And I'm not saying they got it right by any means, but by having them sort of brackets, it means people have something to aim for all the time. No matter what level you're playing at, there's something to achieve, there's something to strive for. And that's why they don't just have this one prize at this and that's it. They have multiple prizes in between, so you can look and go, well, listen, we can't reach that, but we can reach here, and we'll get this from doing that. Let's try and achieve that. And that's why they have, you know, different sort of levels. Scarcity done well can foster competition, but if you're too strict, it won't be fun for players. So the balance between too scarce and not scarce enough is a common challenge. Oddly enough, some signs did a good job might be counterintuitive. So players give feedback that they want more of everything. That is true. Players will always say, we want more of this, we want more of that. No one has ever come in the chat and gone, can we have a bit less 5-star shards actually? Can we have a bit less spark? No one has ever said that in the world ever. So as soon as people start asking for that, it's sort of like, in that ear, out the other, yeah, whatever. Because, you know, people always ask for more of something. But again, it's more being constructive with that. So when you say, we want more of this, give a reason why. Why do you need more of that? Why are you frustrated at it? Don't just say you want more of it. Well, obviously you want more of everything. And they put players give contradictory feedback to each other. And they do that's because one person you ask might say, so ask me, I want Combiner Spark. But I'm sure if you ask someone else, they'll say, well, no, I want Combat Spark, but I've got loads of that. You ask someone else and they go, no, I want Bot Spark. You know, and everyone will have, you know, a different opinion, so it's very hard. And they said players say one thing and do another. How many people have you seen saying, well, I'm not playing this event, I'm quitting because of this, and then they don't. They just don't. It's just frustration. So, you know, they're just pointing that out. And they put about community. So again, the community events provides a lot of elements to competition. So your teammates. So your teammates, obviously, the pressure's there for you to think it, and the teammates sort of pull together and to help you out. A support structure and advice. So you obviously get advice from other players like myself, saying like, you know, you should do this, you should do that, and try doing this, and that is good, and that is bad, and there's always advice there available for people, and that's what creates competition. And peer pressure from obviously your friends and things like that, and mastery, validation. That's sort of being top of your game and understanding that, you know, that's where I am up there, and people sort of seeing you and going, wow, he's a good player because he's up there, and people trying to achieve that. And obviously rivalries between different alliances, so hence leaderboards, and you know, all these things sort of go towards creating competition in the game. You know, the advice of, yeah, you need this bot, like I do, you need this bot, you need this, you need that, you need this is really good. And that puts pressure on people for competition, sadly. This is sort of like how they sort of value things. So we'll talk about this, and we're going to create our own economy, and we'll sort of explain how it sort of works. So they've made a triangle, and they said this triangle is worth $1. That's it. What $1? If you want to buy a triangle, it's $1. But what makes up that triangle? So they've put that there's number of angles, length of sides, and symmetry. So out of those three things, you've got to sort of look at it and go, right, well, what's the most important factor in there? So number of angles. So 3 angles is the most important in a triangle. You can't have 4 angles in a triangle. It won't work. It's got to have 3 angles. So 80% of that, really, really important. That number of angles is the most important thing. Symmetry, yeah, it's quite important in a triangle. It's not essential. You can have triangles without symmetry. But yeah, length of the sides. Listen, you can vary the length of the sides. That's not as important. So that's only 20%. So, you know, adding all them together, that's $1.50 for all that. But you can chop and change. So you can go, right, I'm going to create a triangle that has a 3 number of angles, and the length of sides is important. So we've got length of sides. But the symmetry, we're not putting in this one. Symmetry is not important. Then you can bring out a bundle that has length of sides and symmetry, but has only 2 angles. So the point of doing is, so let's put this into perspective of a bundle. So you can go, right, character crystals. That's the most important thing in a bot bundle. You've got to have bot crystals. You know, there's no point bringing out a bot bundle that's got energy and an ally in it. That's the most important thing. So that's 80%. That's so important. What's the most important thing next? Probably the spark. Probably the spark's quite important. It's not essential, but people like spark in there. Then after that is bot shards. Yeah. And you know what? They could probably live without bot shards. They probably won't really bother, you know. And that's sort of how we judge a rarity. So when they're creating a bundle, they can go, right, crystals have this value. This is the value of crystals. This is the value of the spark. This is the value of bot shards. This is the value of prime core shards or power cores. This is the value of power cores. So, right, okay. So power cores are X amount. So how many power cores can we put in this bundle instead of the character shards? Right, well, this is the value of bot shards. This is the value of the power cores. Right, so 5 power cores is the same as 500 shards in value, and that's when they'll decide how many to put in. And that's how they build their bundles. How much do we put a value on 500 fuel cells? What's the value of spark in them SBBs? What's the value of 100 prems? They'll put a value on every single thing in the game. It's a made up value that they decide. And that's where, you know, some things, sadly, they overvalue. And that's when you get disparities of, well, this bundle's not really worth it. And that's where they're, you know, they're sort of out of touch, really, where the things are out of misplaced, as in terms of price-wise. So, yeah. Great task, but I hope everyone's taking notes as a test in this lesson. No, but it's important that you understand why they build the bundles they do, why things are the way they are, so you can make an educated argument when you're having these things. I get people sometimes just saying like, well, no, that's not thinking, and that's not, and I'm like, yeah, well, that's not right. That's not how they do it. But I'm hoping that you can, you know, Understand that? Simon Hayes put Architect Bundle, perfect example. They've massively overvalued the resources. Massively overvalued. I mean, come on. It takes 30,000 coins to fill your energy on 90%. You know, the resources are massively overpriced. It's a great example of it, you know. So, we're going to go through now. So, I want to come some quick fire answers in the chat. So, what value would you put on a Prem Crystal? On a monetary value? What monetary value would you put on a Prem Crystal? Put it in the chat. I'll sort of take a consensus of the chat. And then, yeah, but some quick fire answers. So, a Prem Crystal. If I said to you, I will sell you a Prem Crystal, you could buy one Prem Crystal. How much would you pay for it? 1 cent. 1 cent. Yeah, a lot of people saying 1 cent. Okay, 1 cent. That's fine. Okay, 1 cent. Okay. How much would you put? Yeah, 5 cents. But I get the idea. Quite cheap. Okay, so a character crystal. So if I said to you, I've got an Ultra Magnus crystal. 2, 3, or 4. Just a crystal, but an Ultra Magnus. But you're guaranteed an Ultra Magnus in it. What's the value of that? Some saying 30 pence, 50 cents, but yeah, but cheap. Yeah, cheap. So, guaranteed Ultra Magnus. What's that value? Obviously going to be a bit more than the Prem, I think. Is it? Yeah. So, Grant has put $1. Yeah, 75 cents. So, a bit dearer again. So, again, because we've got a guarantee in it, it's more expensive because there's some sort of guarantee there. That makes it more valuable. So, then, what if I said, right, a 2-star bot? But it's a non-dupe 2-star bot. So it's a 2-star bot you haven't got. What price would you put on a 2-star bot? Guaranteed 2-star bot that you haven't got. What sort of price would you put on that? There you go, 1 cent for free. Yeah, very, very low. Yeah, so 1 cent. Okay, what would you put on a 3-star bot that's non-dupe? Non-dupe 3-star bot. A 3-star that you haven't got. Doesn't matter if it's out in the crystals or not. It's a guaranteed 3-star bot that you haven't got, non-dupe. What sort of price would we put on that? Not a combine, nothing like that. Just a 3-star bot. So €1, nothing. £1, $1. Yeah, so yeah, I'd say like $1, £1. People are saying, yeah, okay. Side answer's free. $5. MD for $5. You pay $5 for a 3-star bot. I suppose, yeah, we can buy. So yeah, it depends on people. Okay. But wait, we're doing a survey. Okay. A 4-star crystal, not a non-dupe. 4-star crystal. How much would we spend on a 4-star crystal? How much? How much for a 4? If I said, listen, there's a bundle in the shop now, guys. You could buy a 4-star crystal. How much would you spend on it? Just Noble's put $2, $7, $55. So yeah, you know, $5 there, $5. You know, I'd say $5. We're looking at $10 even. Again, depends on what sort of you're at. But I say a lot of people are $5-ish. Yeah, so $5. Okay, how much for a non-dupe 4-star? Non-dupe 4-star crystal. Guaranteed non-dupe. How much we're talking for that? See, some difference in the things now. Guaranteed non-dupe 4-star crystal. I'd say $7.50 maybe. It's a bit more than the $5, but yeah. Okay, what if I said guaranteed 4-star non-dupe combiner crystal? How much for that? How much for a guaranteed 4-star combiner crystal? Guaranteed non-dupe. $5, $7.50. 10, 10, 7.50. So 10. So yeah, 7 to 10. We'll go with roughly 10. Roughly. Okay. So how much would you put on? How much would you put on 100k spark? 100k a spark. How much would you put? If I said you can go and buy 100k spark right now, how much would you pay that for? How much? $100k a spark. Quite a lot of spark though, but quite a few. $5, $2, $10, £5. 100k isn't Nothing. Yeah. Yeah, I think on the whole, maybe 5 on average. People saying 10, some people saying 2, some saying 5. So, $1. Oh, what would we say? $3. We'll say $3. Yeah, for 100k spark. Yeah. How much for a million Zen? How much would you spend for a million Zen available in the store right now? How much? How much for a million Zen? 750, €20. None. Alpha. $5. Million Zen. $10. Yeah, maybe $7. Yeah, some people saying 5, some 10. So we'll put $7 there. 1,000 Shaniks. How much? How much for 1,000 Shaniks? Let's change it. 10,000. How much for 10,000 Shaniks? 10,000 Shaniks. 10,000 Shaniks. How much? Yeah, like $1, $15 even. Nothing. Oh, a lot of varying ones here. A lot of varying ones. So we'll go with $5 then. Okay. And how much for 1,000 bot shards? How much for 1,000 bot shards? Yeah, it could be the new bot that's out. Could be any bot, but 1,000 bot shards. How much for 1,000 bot shards? $1, 50 euros for no 1,000 bot shards. $7.50 for grind time. $5. Yeah, don't forget it's 7,500 shards you need. So we're talking about 1,000 bot shards. So it's a 7th of a 4-star. So a lot of $2 in there. We've got $2. Okay. I think we got it set. I think we got our economy set. Okay, so going off these values, we could have a 4-star crystal, a 4-star crystal with 100k spark, $100k Shaniks, and a 3-star crystal for $20. For $20, a 4-star bot, 4-star, just a normal 4-star bot, 100k of Shaniks, 100k of spark, and a 3-star crystal for $20. Going off the values you're given. Or we could have a 4-star combiner crystal. We could have 1 million Zen and 100k spark for $20. Yeah, crystal obviously SA value them differently, but I'm saying this is how they sort of do bundles. They give everything a value, and all of a sudden they can go, right, okay, let's create a bundle. What's the value of this? What's the value of that? What is the value of that? Let's put it all together and create this bundle, and that is how much it is worth. See, Simon Hayes says I'd pay $50 for that, but you know. The point I'm trying to make is though that they put values on everything. So if I was saying now, how much would you pay for a 5-star crystal? If they put a 5-star crystal in that shop to buy right now, a legacy crystal. So you don't know which one you're getting, but a 5-star crystal. Obviously it's not a dupe. How much would you buy a 5-star crystal for? How much? $20. That ain't happening. Pen Lancaster's $40. Grand Sass what, 140. $100. 25, $15. 100 SG Soundwave. SG Cybernet 100. See, this is the problem you see. $5 just for that crystal. Yeah. Lots of varies there. Lots of $100. Lots of $25, $60, $5, $50. Okay. I get where everyone's going. Everyone's got a sort of different ideas. So, how much for a 5-star crystal where you can pick any 5-star you want? Guaranteed 5-star. Guaranteed that 5-star. You can pick how much for that. How much to pick that 5-star right there? I will pick that one. And you can see that the price is going up to $100, $200. People are going crazy for this. Okay. That's the point I'm going to make. This new 5-star coming out in the end of Saga. You can get that for $50 and playing all weekend. Is it worth it? $50 and your weekend time. Is that worth it for the new 5-star? And you know, we can say, well, it depends on the 5-star. And I think that's a big problem, really. Is that SpaceX look at it as a bot. It's a 5-star bot. But there's a big difference between me saying to you guys, okay, listen, guys, there's a 5-star bot coming out this end of this saga. It's another Minerva. It's another amazing bot. People will go out and go $100, $200, something like that. But if I said, yeah, it's a bit like Ultra Magnus or a bit like Grimlock or Sunstreaker, that's not $150, $200, $100. That's more like a, yeah, $50. And bot rarity matters a lot. And I think I've got a slide here. And that's where this sort of comes into it. Is that they don't stick to sort of this. This is on one of their own slides. They understand that Pipes is not Ultra Magnus. Ultra Magnus, in terms of lore, is quite huge. You know, Optimus Prime is huge. You know, in terms of lore, Pipes, you don't really hear of that much. You know, so there's certain bots that will attract more interest. There's certain bots of ability and how good they are that will attract more interest. But they don't really understand that. That depends on how good the bot is. And they don't bring a bot out and go, listen playtesters, we want this bot to be, you know, out of 1 to 5, a 3 maybe. We're not really bothered if people really enjoy it or not. But, you know, it's quite an easy event. You know, it's 30k per player for this bot. This is a 3. Where they go, listen, this is a 5. This is a 75k event. This is a 5 bot. And that's the problem. Just go, listen, right now, we're obviously, as our, you know, our alliances are sort of deciding on bids and saying, like, right, who's going to put in 75k? But we're blindly bidding on a 5-star crystal. And you saw the difference there. People going $100, but $50. Someone saying 20 because they didn't realise, well, I could get Ultra Magnus. I could get a 5-star that I don't even want. You know, it's a big difference between getting a bot that you want and a bot that you don't. And they don't really see the difference in the value. But it's a huge difference. We saw it in the chat there. Huge difference. So, you know, but people that can play in the chat saying that, you know, 75k is not worth it for the 5-star. Well, it depends on the 5-star. If it's a really good 5-star, hell, it's worth it. It really is. You can get 75k for $50. You can, guys, honestly. Using that money just for cells. Using the bundles just for cells. But if you do need help with that, I have done some videos. If you go into my YouTube channel, look up event scoring tips, the playlist. There's lots of bundles in, lots of bundles. There's lots of videos in there explaining how to score efficiently and how to score well. And you know, this is what SpaceX need to understand: is the difference between a good and a bad bot. And hopefully, you know, they could do these events, these 3 mil events, and the bot's worth it. It's a really good event. I understand chance events, but chance events, you know, you can get it free to play. You could score 5,000 points to chance event and get the bot. And I kind of understand. I mean, I've said in the past that all bots should be sort of equal, but I understand that, you know, more investment will be for better bots. I kind of get that in a way. You know, that every bot isn't equal, but you know, I just want good bots in the game. I don't like people being disappointed. But yeah, listen, this is how the 8s make bundles. So when you look at the bundle, so when you go back to the game, go and have a look at some of the bundles. Let's have a look at some of the bundles now. So, look at the bundles. So, we've got the bundle here. So, Defensor bundle. So, obviously, they rate these crystals really highly because you're getting half the crystals that you get in the character bundles. So, in the character bundles, we haven't got one. So, here, so for £10 or $10, you get 10 Wheeljack chips. Whereas these, for $10, you only get 5. So they obviously rate these crystals at double the value of what a Wheeljack crystal is. Because it's guaranteed between only 5 bots. Then we got 10k Command Spark, 10k Spark, and 50 of each bot shards, and 10 or 13. So they value these sparks, these bot shards, and the or 13. They value that the same as these bot shards, which is the same, but the same as 10,000 spark, but they've got 10,000 spark in that. So 10,000 combiner spark and 10 or 13 is the same value as a G1 Wheeljack chip. Do you agree? Do you not agree? But that's how they that's how they value their bundles, guys. That's how they sort of judge what's value. But then you look at this here, and they must value this at like £18, and these at £2 or $2. I don't know. But yeah. But yeah, Strikers put not worth it, and that's the kind of point I'm making, that they've overvalued everything. You know, if they lowered the value on some things, then they get more traction. People would buy it a bit more. But yeah, usually they're massive. So going off our own economy. So we said a 4-star crystals, non-dupe, was about $7.50, but you're probably going to need $40 to get a 4-star dupe or 4-star bot. You know, and we've said that's like 4 times the value what we expect. You know, that's a massive disparity. You know, but we have said that, you know, we would buy a 5-star guaranteed crystal for like $100. We would, whereas you're not even guaranteed a 4-star for $100. So, but that is how the game economy works, and I hope you sort of learned a bit about this, really. But I'd advise you guys to go on YouTube, go on Space Ape Games, and go and watch some of the videos around live ops. It's very insightful. It goes more in depth into what I've talked about in the stream. Believe it or not, I know we've sort of talked about this for quite a while now, but it really goes in depth about it, and it's cool to go and read that and go and watch it and understand behind the scenes of the game. So I know I've sort of gone on quite a bit, not been much gameplay today, but I hope I sort of give people some insight. So when we start talking on Discord about value of things and talking about whether this event is worth it or not, we can sort of whittle it down and go, well, you know, comparing that value to this and comparing how much that would cost, then yeah, that's pretty worth it, you know. Yeah. Chris Trudden's thought that's why the Joy bundle was amazing. Yeah, I agree. That's where the value should be. You know, it is. But again, if they make something less rare and more accessible, and then you know, it does devalue everything. So then you start devaluing 4 stars, devaluing 5 stars. It's not good for the economy, sadly. 50% chance of getting a. We got more than that because it's 2% chance. So it's a 1 in 50 chance of getting 40 crystals. So you probably got an 80% chance of getting the 4-star in a $40 bundle, to be fair. Grind Time wants to build your own bundle. They did that in China because they put these things together and said, we agreed these value. If you pick one of these 3 and one of these 3 and one of these 3, we valued all these the same, so you can have one of each of these, and that will be $20, say. You know, it was good in China. It was good. Yeah, that's the point. I think the problem is they've got a gacha system that you want to collect them all, like sort of like Pokemon, and that's cool. But then they've also added in the gacha system of the crystal, which is not good, really. So yeah. If we know the price, they wouldn't move so much on the big packs and things like this weekend. The ×4 bundle of them was awesome. Yeah, I agree. That's where the value should be. The 4-star bundles were alright, although I only got 2 4-star bots in the whole and then crystals, like 200 crystals. So yeah. In Lancaster's put gotcha is gotcha. Yeah, it is. You know, it's all around chance. There's too much chance in the game, I think, personally. But yeah, don't worry, guys. I'm going nowhere. After the comments earlier about I'm quitting. No, I'm not. I am taking a break from top wars because I just need something to chase. I need maybe when these 5-star shard things come out, and maybe. But I need something to level. I've got these new bots to level, but like I said, they're not gonna make a difference to my gameplay. So we will see. We will see. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. But you know, I am talking to Soldier about getting him on the stream. That should happen over the next month or so, hopefully. He's the last content creator we need to get on, so looking forward to that. We've also, I've also talked to Tex about doing some more of the rating videos. Everyone seems to like them. Get a lot of good feedback from that, so we're going to be doing that with Tex. Again, over the next couple of months, I've got about 5 videos ready to go in YouTube. They'll be posted over the next 2 weeks. Don't forget to join me on Monday for just a play stream where we just play and chill and chat. So come and join me for that. Obviously, every Thursday we do sort of newsletter and cover some important topics. We'll be reviewing the next combat next week and maybe showing a bit of insight into the new bot, hopefully, but nothing too much because it's still got to be balanced. And yeah, loads to come, like I said. So yeah, don't forget, guys, never miss another stream. To hit that subscribe button and yeah, hit that like button on the video if you've enjoyed anything in today's stream. So as I said earlier, we're going to be giving out some Sunstreaker stash crystals. So Penny Lancaster, I think you've put a lot into the stream today. You've been very active, so I'm going to give you a 5-star crystal. No, I'm not going to give you a 5-star crystal. A Sunstreaker was a stash crystal. Imagine that. I'm giving you a 5-star crystal for being in my stream. Yeah, imagine I could do that. Chris Harmon, you can have a Sunstreaker was a stash crystal. You've been quite active, and Grind Time as well has been very active. Let's pick someone a bit new to the stream. So Seti83, you can have a Sunstreaker was a stash crystal. Hit me up in Discord, and I will sort you all out. And Brian Miller, I think Brian Miller's a bit new to the stream, and he's been quite active in the chat. So yeah, you 5 guys, hit me up in Discord, and yeah, we'll sort you out a Sunstreaker was a stash crystal. And don't forget, again, if you haven't won one this time, guys, don't forget, if you keep joining in my streams, I'll guarantee at some point you will win. Whether it's guessing which crystal I open, or whether it's being first in the chat, or being active in the chat, or I've liked a certain comment you've made, or something's made me laugh, or whatever it is, you know, hit me up in a thing. Brian Miller's put, I'm not new again before. I lose track, I'll be honest with you, right, my bud. Honestly, I lose track of people. Honestly, it's crazy. But yeah, no worries. Hit me up in Discord. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. Like I said, if you like the stream, hit a like before you leave. Don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 5,000 subs this year. Close to 4,100. Got 100 subs just this month alone. So the channel's going bigger and bigger. And yeah, we're trying to get to 5,000 by Christmas, hopefully. But yeah, thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate it. Hope you've had a bit of insight into the game. Join me on Monday and join me next Thursday. Watch out for videos in between. Thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.